Anyway, I've revised my Slay the Spire power rankings. The defect is incredible. The silent is fine. And the ironclad is hot garbage. Those are my new rankings. Don't at me. May I?
Listen here, pal.
Absolutely not. My mistake. That's my mistake for getting above my station. My only question with the ranking is how quickly it changes. It changes based on whoever I'm, like, doing the best with. There's no real science behind it. It's pretty much just, like, who have I been good with and who do I suck with recently. Once I realized that if you ever want to win as the defect, all you have to do is get one consume and preferably like a biased cognition, it became clear that nothing would ever stop me again. Dude, I'm just leveling with you. I don't really know what to do up here. It's kind of a touchy room. I think I am going to... I mean, there's space for 2 bodies. But... Power deck is better than consume, in my opinion. The thing about the power deck is you can just add a creative AI, if you get one, into your consume deck, and it'll work totally fine. You'll get capacitors, you'll get defrags, you'll get clutch buffers. Your life's gonna be easy. Let's see if this works.
I bet Gary lost this.
Gary! How did he know? I bet he comes back in like 2 fucking seconds. I was like, you gotta be real quick or you gotta be real clever. Still, that gun trick. It's really, it's quite valuable. It is a Mathis strat. I'll level with you. Watch this.
What irresponsible person left a weapon
It was Gary.
lying around?
I'm sorry. This is I get 2 throwables, but like I still don't understand how we can do it quickly enough. Maybe we just escape. I mean, we could just kill them. I'm like, no joke, the briefcase actually would be 10 out of 10 here. Huh?
another one. This is a disgrace.
It's the 16th gun this week. Okay. We actually should not have knocked out the third one. I think. If we had just left the one dude alive. Yep. For this exact reason. Okay. He's learning, though. He's learning. If you dump the third out the window, he gets discovered. We screwed this up about 70 times. You're right, we only need to knock out the first dude. Yep, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I got into this situation.
No way.
Chat, I have a culinary related question for you. I'm sorry? No guns and no surprises.
Put that thing down, Mike.
What Japanese food is better? Sushi or ramen? I just dropped it a little further back, so I got more room to work with here. It's a very tough question, I think. I like them both. Right now, I'm thinking sushi, but I think I'm thinking sushi because I'm eating sushi. But when I'm eating ramen, I'm like, dude, this is the best meal ever made. This is a great time for a save as well. Sushi is too high class? No way, dude. You can get some cheapo, like, discount sushi. You can get some junk food sushi.
Ah, here's something 47. According to this email thread, Sophia Washington has recruited one of the architects in a plan to discredit the Constant. Sounds promising.
Excuse me.
I give up. This level of encryption's out of my league.
Interesting. The poison chip in the Constant's neck was designed
A
by
Kronstadt engineer! Anyway, okay. Look, it might take us 4 hours to beat this mission. We gotta skip some of this stuff here.
47. Olivia is trying to locate Mr. Sinclair's cell number. See if we can't contact him directly.
Identify Sinclair. I just get the cheapest fugu I can get on the dark web. I also like to live dangerously. Would you rather eat the best sushi in the world or the best ramen? That's an easy question. I would rather have the best sushi in the world for sure. But would you rather have sushi that costs $1 or ramen that costs $1? I would rather have ramen that costs $1 100%. $1 sushi scares the shit out of me. Ramen can be good. I would go so far as to say that ramen is probably one of those foods that gets elevated the most from instant to, you know, restaurant quality. Okay, I'm just being honest. How the hell am I supposed to find Sinclair? The conference space, okay. It's probably the blue man, huh? Are you much of an instant ramen man, NL? No, not at all. Although I have been at points in my life. Blue man is the constant.
Nothing? I'll keep on calling Sinclair until you have a visual.
Alright, just walk. Keep calling. Keep calling. I'm walking around. We'll find him. Oh! You gonna get that?
Can I help you? You're kind of freaking me out.
It was not a no parking zone. I parked there.
I have an idea. This idea is highly simple, by the way. Probably a good time for a save. What's the difference between instant ramen and restaurant ramen? Honestly, it's like the richness of the broth. This is not what I meant to do. Like a hot water plus spice, it can make a decent, like an acceptable broth, but like a fatty, lardy sort of like real ramen broth. No, it's, yeah, according to Reddit, it's just a hard-boiled egg and fresh green onions. But that ain't it.
That's Sinclair, all right. And those are the blueprints for the poison ship. Should come in handy.
Hold on, where's the camera? It's a little close for comfort. No! Yeah, I didn't want to do it, but if it's got to be done, it's got to be done. The ramen restaurant I frequent has 8 seats. There's people waiting outside even in winter. Yo, it's like, it's, I mean, ramen's been popping off in Vancouver forever, I guess, but, like, certainly, there's no way this is going to work. Certainly before I lived here, it was already popping, but there's, like, so many ramen joints in the city now are, like, crazy busy. Like, there's this place called Danbo that's amazing, but there's a lineup even at, like, well, that's not good. There's a lineup even at, like, you know, 10:50 p.m., and it closes at 11. But you can get in and out there in 2 seconds. It must be on, like, some TripAdvisor list, because people keep, like, whenever Kate and I go there, the people next to us are always like, can you tell me what ramen is? And I feel bad the servers are like, you know, it's a soup. And they're like, wow, soup, huh? I'll take 2 ramens, please.
That's Sinclair, all right. And those are the blueprints for the poison ship. Should come in handy.
I had to wait 2 hours for poutine in another city? That's wild. Ramen is probably the food I've waited the longest for. It does say Putin. You're not wrong. When we were in San Francisco, we went to a ramen place called, I think it's called Mensho Tokyo Ramen. And it was really good, but it was also like maybe an hour and 20 minutes wait to get into the restaurant. It's because of the gun. You are 100% correct. Please go in through the window. Thank you. I thought they all recognized me. That's what I thought the problem was, but it's definitely the AR. We probably would have waited like an hour and a half to go to this Indian buffet we went to, but Corey got there way before us and waited in line, which was extremely helpful.
I suppose.
No robe, no mask. Which rank are you?
Oh, I'm more of an outside observer.
Name's Sinclair. I'm Chief Technical Designer at Quonstad Industries.
The name rings a bell.
Ah, yes. Well, some questions are best left unanswered.
Show.
Don't you agree?
Here,
Carry on.
I think it might interest you.
What's this?
I think you know. The chip in your neck is my design, which means...
This guy's freaking me out. He's like the third Sidine twin.
Most interesting. Meet me at the tower.
The sound of the styrofoam is making me hungry.
Be safe to
I'm sorry, I don't want the sushi to dry out, so I keep opening and closing it.
I'm just saying, if you're preparing for complete global
A big
collapse,
question is
the
pho
culture
or
you're back
ramen?
to
Yo, no vaping inside. There's like priceless artifacts here. Are you insane? Sorry, pho. My mistake. It's close. I'd still probably take ramen, but with, yo, this is old Wario. No disrespect. That's Dr. Wily. No disrespect meant to pho.
see those blueprints again, please. Interesting.
Excuse me?
All right, Mr. Sinclair. I'm listening.
Don't. In fact, forget all I said.
Excuse me.
This wasn't my idea. Sophia Washington. She's the one who told me to approach you. It's all a trap.
Styrofoam.
I never asked why. I just went along because she's the boss.
And you're telling me this now? Why?
Let's just say I don't like to get my hands dirty.
I see. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Sinclair. You have been most helpful.
And you too, Will Forte.
Sophia, I need to see you at the tower.
Yo, it's all going down. For me, it's not even close. Like,
You are an
when it comes to Japanese noodles,
Nicely done, 47. This should put Sophia firmly in the doghouse.
is that good? When it comes to Japanese noodles, it's like ramen, number
I'm
one.
sorry you got dragged into this.
Way down the list at number two.
Particularly a
Udon,
business.
and then soba.
Fortunately, like most people of her ilk, she lacks humility and a sense of station.
And who are you, exactly?
A humble advisor. Nothing more.
Power without responsibility.
Ramen.
Nothing
I want to ramen with you. We're ramen.
You have my interest, Mr.
And I hope you like
I
ramen
think
too.
we'll speak again. For now, you will excuse me.
Give me some privacy.
Sophia and I need to clear the air.
I thought those were just different preparations of ramen.
All right, I'm here.
You may remember we had a discussion on the NLSS. Somebody tried to convince me that their favorite dish was udon ramen, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
We've.
And I was made to look like a villain for doubting them, and then it turned out that I was correct.
I don't blame you for trying, Sophia.
Not that I'm gonna try to dredge up the past necessarily.
Upstairs. Now.
You made a big mistake, Sinclair.
Yo, I can hear you, lady. Are you
Won't
insane?
be going away.
I've never had instant udon.
Can't talk, sir.
May I?
Sorry, sir.
That makes
Even
sense.
Architects are allowed.
That makes sense. I shouldn't be allowed to go up there. Just assuming there's gotta be like a pipe somewhere that we can maybe use to get up there. I'm not really like, here's the thing. The reason I don't eat instant ramen much is probably because I lived in Korea. I had so many mornings where I was just like, I don't want to do anything. So I just ate instant ramen. Now that I'm back in North America and have been for a while, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have like a breakfast of Ritz crackers and Shin Ramyun. So instead, I'll just have like a busted sandwich if it's gonna be something like that. Yeah, it's also not very good for you, it's true, but you know, I could say that, but then I also eat things that are not good for me on a more regular basis regardless, so.
This is how you repay me? You think because the partners noticed you?
I mean, this seems like a really good time.
Trust, their confidence. I have served them for decades. And you don't even know their names.
And yet, you're the one with a poison chip in your neck, and I'm the one.
Heel pusher? Even better.
They gave it to you.
Ouch. That's gotta sting. I mean, the constant is
Surprise, bitch.
God, right? Only he speaks for the partners. Surely they wouldn't dream of undermining his authority. Only the partners are old school, aren't they? They recognize class.
I thought it would knock her off the edge.
Birds of a feather and all that. And you?
Nothing about this guy reeks of middle class. Did you hear him talk?
Think of public transportation. And while you have spent decades climbing the corporate ladder, me and Zoe, we've got ourselves a private elevator and it goes straight to the top.
Don't fool yourself, Sophia. They may use you to punish me, but you're a tool, nothing more. And this pathetic ruse only shows me how much you have yet to learn.
Kick her. Oh, do it, dude.
My piece. We're done here, boss.
Send her to the Shadow Realm. He will not. He's too honorable.
Zoe, pick up. Yeah, it's me. Listen, I screwed up. The Sinclair scheme, it blew up in my face, and the Constant, he knows. But he hasn't told the partners. Not yet anyway, but I sort of lost my shit and waved the kill switch in front of his face, so who knows what he's capable of. This is starting to look like a shoot first and ask forgiveness later scenario. I don't know why. Who knows what that man is thinking? I say, we flick the switch and blame the terrorists. No, hear me out, sis. They somehow infiltrated the island, had the Constant at gunpoint. You and me, we got there at the last moment. We had no choice. The Constant was compromised. It was the only way to protect the partners. It's what he would have wanted. Of course, it's risky, but so is not doing anything. We'll owe him. Fine. You're right. Too many variables. We'll bide our time. For now. Thanks, sis.
Oops. She died before she even...
Nice work, 47. Next up, Zoe.
She went totally lifeless. It's like I severed her spine with a devastating front kick. I mean, this outfit is pretty okay. I don't think we need another disguise.
A remote trigger. Must be a kill switch.
I bet this would make the Constant come quietly.
All right, mission
But
story.
first,
Well,
things first, 47.
why not?
Focus on the target.
How did you get the key card out of her? It's called subterfuge. Sweetheart, look it up.